tonight was the big night for several GOP leaders hoping to get their name on the 2024 ballot. The group spent the night in Simi Valley putting out their message. This was the second presidential debate of the season. They're working to gain momentum before the Iowa caucuses in just about 4 months.
Let's go to CBS 13's Steve Large. They're outside the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library. Steve?
Yeah, live on the grounds of the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library, kind of turned into the center of the universe for the GOP party. And at the very center of that universe was Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom. By choice, he was in the thick of it today here, and I had the opportunity to catch up with him in the spin room surrounded by reporters.
There was no takeaway of merit. I mean, this is nothing but, you will forget, in the next 72 hours, none of you will be talking about this debate.
Governor Gavin Newsom in this unusual setting, playing the role of political pundit, grading Republican candidates on their primary debate performance.
Honestly, perhaps the only thing that was honestly a little chilling and strange, it was the Mike Pence sex joke, which I'm still struggling to get through.
My wife isn't a member of the teachers union, but I got to admit I've been sleeping with a teacher for 38 years.
Welcome to the second Republican debate of the 2024 primary, live from
Newsom's attacks on Republican candidates followed this GOP debate on the Fox Business Network, held at the Ronald Reagan Library with Air Force One as the backdrop. At times, the exchanges turned impossible to follow.
Well, no, you said about
if I may finish,
you can't be on both sides.
Gentlemen, you'll have your turn.
Leading Republican candidate Donald Trump was not here, leading several challengers to call him out.
Donald Trump is missing in action. He should be on this stage tonight.
You're not here tonight because you're afraid of being on the stage and defending your record. You're ducking these things. And let me tell you what's going to happen. You keep doing that, no one up here is going to call you Donald Trump anymore. We're going to call you Donald Duck.
All right.
This road to the White House stopping in California.
I mean, I thought the only interesting thing is just watching Ron DeSantis flat out lie.
And a governor joining the spin room frenzy, furthering speculation. He wants to run too. So as part of his visit to this spin room, the governor also joined Sean Hannity on the Fox Business Network. And Sean Hannity asked the governor if he is going to run for president. The governor said that he is simply here to support Joe Biden for president at this point. The next GOP debate, by the way, is coming up in November. That'll be in Miami.
All right, Steve, thank you. And yeah, missing from the stage, former President Donald Trump, who was in Detroit after touring an auto factory and meeting with striking workers. Now, you'll remember his poll numbers soared after missing the first debate. And here's more Chris Christie calling him out for ducking the second debate.
I want to look at that camera right now and tell you, Donald, I know you're watching. You can't help yourself. I know you're watching, okay? And you're not here tonight. Not because of polls and not because of your indictments. You're not here tonight because you're afraid of being on the stage and defending your record. You're ducking these things.
All right, our own political analyst is there, Gary Dietrich. Gary, the true winner tonight might be aspirin. It really might be, because there are a lot of answers that didn't really have anything to do with the questions being asked, and a lot of them trying to talk over each other. But Politico, they're calling tonight's debate rowdy, wonky, weird. We did hear some zingers, but did any of the seven cut through that crowded and noisy stage?
You know, I think the general consensus here, Curtis, is no. Did anyone rise above the rest of the din? I don't think so. The bigger question is this field going to get winnowed, as they say? And I got no indication tonight that any of these folks are ready to leave the stage soon. And they may not be able to determine that themselves, because come November here in just 4 or 5 weeks, the stage gets winnowed itself when you have to have 5% in a national poll or in a national and 2 state polls. So I think we're going to see a fewer number. But from tonight's debate, you couldn't tell it.
Yeah. And, you know, Gary, through all of the weird and just somewhat downright bizarre comments
bizarre comments,
right?
Yeah.
There were. So we can count on you to cut through it all. So who do you think gained ground? Who lost ground tonight?
Well, certainly people are watching Nikki Haley. She was the one that benefited most in the polls from this last one. And I think the real key, guys, is going to be, how does the juxtaposition of the candidates here versus Donald Trump, does that begin to break through at all? So far, it hasn't. I mean, the former president has maintained a 40-point lead nationally, 30 points in Iowa and New Hampshire. And I think a lot of people over the next few weeks are going to be saying, are these debates going to begin to move the needle? I heard some people tonight saying maybe Donald Trump actually shows up at the next debate and says, kids, this is all over.
Yeah, I mean, you referenced this 30 to 40 point lead that former President Trump has, so these candidates do have a lot of ground to cover. They all attacked him tonight, but none really referenced his trouble with the law. So what do you make of that?
I think right now, guys, the Republicans want nothing to do to get dragged down in that mire. And again, if this ends up being the GOP candidate, that is Donald Trump, do they want to be the ones dogpiling on now? No, I think they left that to Governor Newsom tonight.
Yeah, I can understand that. Gary Dietrich, our political analyst, always a pleasure to have your insight. Thank you for all of that. Now to this.